take one last question here.
I'm assuming that the European Union structure is part of the new world order. Would our withdrawal from the European Union in any way be a kick in the guts to the new world order?
No. Well, I know there's some reason to be cynical about the EU, but I'm not totally cynical about it myself. I mean, we'd look a lot better moaning about the lack of EU democracy if we actually came from a democracy in the first place. Yeah. But if you benchmark this country, you will realise that by any standard of democracy, we are a democracy. You elect a government and you elect a parliament. That's a confusion of democracy, there's no separation of powers. But even during that electoral process, it's not representative democracy because there's no representation of the views held by the people. Blair has 330 seats on the basis of something like 36% of the vote, but Lib Dems have 60 seats on the basis of 23%. It's not representative at all. It creates these governments with massive majorities on very little in the way of popular support. And then, of course, we have no Supreme Court, no written constitution, no Bill of Rights. Now, if the Palestinian Authority said, no, we're going to set up a country in which the Prime Minister decides everything, has the total power over his cabinet, that not only is there centralisation of everything at the centre, but even within that centralisation of central government, everything is centralised in the Treasury. So you're in a situation, and the Palestinians said, well, we're not going to have a Supreme Court, we'll just, have people passing laws that nobody can contradict, even if they take away fundamental human rights. People turn around to Palestinians and say, you can't do that, that's not a democracy. But we've been doing it for years, and no reason to want to point this out, and it really is the emperor's no clothes. We are not living in a democracy in this country. We are ruled by Sharia elements, most ostensibly from the intelligence services, on behalf of the shadow government, and we shouldn't pretend otherwise. To pretend otherwise is really to be kidding ourselves and really giving a tacit support for the system as it exists rather than opposing it, basically, if we pretend we are a democracy.
Yeah. Maybe can I ask, who is the shadow government?
The shadow government is very obvious in many ways. The oil industry and the arms industry, we know, are great donators to America's presidential election campaigns. They have enormous influence in Britain. They have very close connections with the intelligence services. That is just the obvious, looking at the obvious, basically. Behind that, of course, it's high finance. It's the Bank of England. Everybody thinks it's a public institution, but it's a private institution, like the Federal Reserve in the US. But it's also other things as well. I mean, to be able to maintain that power, you need to have a network. And I don't think that network they have comes from real intelligence services. I think that network comes from perhaps the Freemasons. Many of whom at the lower grades will be told to do things, but not realise why they're doing it or the performance of the effect of their actions. But of course, they can make things very difficult. We've had situations in which contracts have been cancelled at the last minute, talks have been cancelled at the last minute. Anything they can do to kind of drain your resources and drain your time and energy, they will do. And you need a network to do that. I said it must be the Freemasons. I can't think anybody else in the country who would have a secret network like that. That said, though, we approach anybody. We don't say we're not going to talk to the Freemasons. I know Freemasons, I admit it. Being Freemasons, I've given them copies of the DVD to get out the lodge. Because why not use the best system of networking in the country to get your message across? Thank you very much.
So I think tea is still available for those who like tea. DVDs, please take as many as you can afford and distribute them to your friends and family and colleagues and everybody and anybody that you can think of. DVDs available. And also please take a copy of the monthly itinerary available for the next 3 months.